everybody. Welcome to the Ronline Report. I don't really need to introduce this man, but I'm going to anyway. This is legendary bodybuilder, entrepreneur, retired, maybe pro bodybuilder, Branch Warren. How you doing, sir?
Good, Ron. How are you doing? Thanks for having me on.
I'm doing great. Now, you see I got the Branch shirt on in your honor?
Looking good in it, filling it out, representing well, brother.
If you're wondering why I didn't wear the, Branch, just full disclosure, Branch sent me some samples of his new jerky, this Wicked Cuts. He sent me a tank top, thank you. Branch, you must think I'm about your size, which I wish I was, but I'm not, because that thing is like a friggin', I could wear it as a dress. It's huge. I would need to be about 280 ripped to fit into that thing. So anyway, so the big news is your company. This is a kind of a big deal because so many bodybuilders have come out with supplement lines where it's the same old, I got a protein powder, I got a pre-workout, I got a creatine, which is great, that's fine, but it's not very original. So this actually makes so much sense to me that you would come out with this new product, Wicked Cuts, which is, it's different types of jerky. It's not just beef. You got like bacon. This one in particular. Everybody, if you get this and you're a bacon fan, if you got to try this old-fashioned maple. I could eat 5 of these at once. It's 5 bags of this. It is freaking delicious.
It's awesome. That's the best tasting one.
Yeah.
It's my favorite, and it's not the healthiest thing if you're trying to even prepare for contests to get in shape, but
it's okay.
Man, it tastes awesome. So we knocked that one out of the park.
Now I know it's kind of early for sales figures but is that one like leader in sales too?
Man, I believe the original peppered beef is the #1 seller. Okay. But I think the teriyaki turkey is doing real well too.
Okay.
And I think bacon's in the #3 spot.
Yeah, once people get word gets out about this, I just have to actually show people. These are actual pieces of bacon, correct?
It's real bacon, yeah.
Who doesn't love bacon? I love bacon.
You put some maple flavoring on it and cook it just right, and man, it's awesome.
So this is actual real food. This isn't a powder or anything. This is real food. You can
all natural.
All natural.
You know, our stuff is hand sliced, no hormones, no preservatives. It's low in sodium. It's low in carbohydrates. Low sugars, and it's good stuff. The taste. We started on this project way back last year, and me and my partner Scott James, who was the original owner of BSN.
Yeah.
And it took a long time to get the flavoring down right, and that's the most important part because I want to make sure we had a quality product. He pitched this to me well over a year ago, and when we first said it was his idea, come out with jerky, and I was like, jerky? Yeah. I don't know about jerky. My family used to make jerky when I was growing up or whatever, but I don't know, man. And I had to think about it, and I went home and thought about it, and the more I thought about it, I was like, man, this is an original idea, and because with the fitness supplement market, you got what, 3 or 4% of the population you're marketing towards.
Yeah.
You can market this to anybody that's not a vegan.
See, I thought this was your idea. I thought you must have thought of this on one of your, you're out in friggin' Alaska or Montana or somewhere like 500 miles away from the nearest civilization, and you're in your little tent, waiting 3 degrees below zero, eating some crappy old jerky, and I thought maybe I could come up with something better. That's where I thought, that was my theory on where it came.
I got to give credit to my partner Scott. It's his idea.
Yeah.
But then I once I got on board with it, it took me about the next day. I was like, hey man, let's do this. I think this can work and be really good. And my first thing was, I was like, look man, this can't be like a bag of dried out shit that you get at the store. That hurts your teeth. When you're trying to chew it up, it's so dry and hard. So I said I want it to be tender and moist, and I said I want the flavor to be out of this world. And we had some ideas, and we started working on it. And learned all of it. It's a totally new challenge for me, totally different area, but it's very innovative, and we've got some really innovative stuff coming out in the near future that we're developing, and along these same lines. And so I think stay tuned. We got some really cool original stuff coming.
So like you said, fitness, the people that really train hard, that's a tiny percentage of the population, but everybody loves jerky. Without giving away all your plans and aspirations, is this something you want to try to get into, Costco, BJ's, Walmart, Target?
We're going direct to consumer right now. We do have, it is in a few select retailers. We're being very selective on the retailers that we put it in. Yeah. We've been open for less than a month now. We launched about 3.5 weeks ago. Yeah. Going very well. We're exceeding our expectations. The direct to consumer business is doing really well. And you know, retailers, we have a lot of people ask for it, but you know, we're being very selective. We're not just giving it out to everybody.
Yeah.
And yeah, will it be in some of the big stores in the future? Yeah, it will be.
Awesome. Yeah. You know, we can buy like a 20-pound bag of it or something eventually at Costco. But let me ask about the family. First of all, your daughter. How old is Faith now?
She's 6 years old. She just graduated kindergarten. So I didn't know they had kindergarten graduation because, you know, when I was in school, you know, you better not fail it. So
Yeah.
I didn't know we didn't have graduation. So, but yeah, she had that this week, and she's excited. She's playing soccer and gymnastics, and they grow up fast, as you know.
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, my son's graduating high school tomorrow, and next month my daughter, who's 24, has her second wedding anniversary. Yeah. So
Wow.
luckily, she's been taking precautions so that I'm not a grandfather. I'm not ready to be a grandpa yet, dude. I'm sorry. Too soon. But,
I don't even want to think about that, bro.
you're way far away from even having to worry about that. But you know, everyone jokes, you know, when that girl's ready to date and they have to go home and pick her up from your house, God help them.
Man, I don't even want to think about that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping she'll be a nun or something like that, but that probably ain't gonna happen. So.
Can you imagine going to pick up a girl for a date and someone like you answers the door though? Guy built like a tank.
You know, my worst nightmare is to see the young me at my front door trying to take my daughter out. That's my worst nightmare come true.
See, that's the thing is we know what guys were like back then at that age because we were like that.
I tell her already. I've already started telling her. I'm like, all guys are bad.
Yeah.
I go, you'll be in your 30s before you meet a decent guy, and then maybe not even then.
That's the hormones. It's the friggin' hormones that make us little douchebags. You know what are you gonna do?
I told her, I said, boys are all bad. I said, you know, I'm telling you. And she goes, well, you were a boy one time. I go, I was bad. She goes, when did you meet mama? I said, I was 30 when I married your mama. See, I said, so
Wow.
you got to be in your 30s before you're worth the crap.
That's true though. So Trish transitioned over from figure to women's physique a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Did really well, right? I mean, she was
Real well.
did very well. But what's it been? Has she competed? She competed once since Faith was born.
She did what was it, the show in there in Phoenix.
Yeah.
I can't remember, what is it, the Wings of Strength, I believe, or whatever it was.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of the competition. She did that show. That was her first stab at it. She got third.
Yeah.
And then she did the Europa this past year, and she got fifth.
Okay.
And it just hasn't really, you know, we've been so busy with this, and you know, we've got 4 contests / expos that we promote.
Right.
We've got Minneapolis this weekend, June 9th in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Wow.
Then we've got June 30th, my show in Houston.
Yeah.
It's gotten really, really big. You know, we're expecting over 10,000 in attendance. We've got 11 events, 10 other events beside the NPC, plus an expo. And so that's grown really big. Then we've got another show September 22nd in Chicago. Me and Mel Chansey are promoting that event. And we're going to have multiple events there too. And then, of course, October 27th, I have Texas Legends here in Dallas, my hometown.
That's only 4? That sounds like more than 4.
Just 4.
Wow, okay. And
Dallas, Minneapolis, and Chicago.
So
and then, I've got my nutrition line through Black School Nutrition.
Yeah.
We're in 13 countries, all over South America, Europe, and a couple countries in the Middle East. And then of course, Wicked Cuts, which has taken up a huge amount of my time. That's my baby.
Yeah.
And, so it's a different. It's been a transition for me the past couple of years. You know, for the past 20 years of my life,
Yeah.
bodybuilding was the priority.
Right.
You know, the world could be on fire if I was getting into a contest. I don't give a damn. Like, whatever, man. I'll deal with it later. And but you know, now I've closed that chapter. I'm still very much involved in the sport, but you know, now you have to shift gears, and I had to take that intensity and focus and, you know, shift that into business.
Yeah.
And you know, have that kind of take that same drive that I had all those years competing and shift that into business. So.
Do you guys still have Maximum Logistics, the shipping company too?
No, we don't. We quit doing that. We had that for 12 years.
Yeah.
We closed that down about a year ago. We had 10 really, really good years. You know, that took a lot of stress off me all those years I was competing.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I didn't have to worry about if I went to a bad show or something, lost your contracts. You don't have to worry about how you pay the bills. So.
Right. I mean, you're one of the few that always had a plan B, C, D, and E, whereas a lot of these guys are like, oh shit, my contract. Oh shit, I didn't get the placing I wanted in the prize money. Oh shit, and now I can't make the payment on my Range Rover or this or that. And,
yeah. See, man, I grew up really poor, Ron. And man, as I grew up, I was like, man, I'm not going to live like that. I'm not going to have my family live like that, especially, once you have kids and everything, I'm like, I don't want them to grow up the way I grew up. So, you got plan A.
Yeah.
That don't work out. Plan A I knew was going to come to an end. You're a pro athlete.
Right.
Every pro athlete has a limited career. Even if you have a long career, what's a long career? 5 years, 8 years, 10, 12 years?
Yeah.
It's going to come over. It'll end sooner rather than later. One injury and you're done. So you got to have plan B and then plan C, man, and maybe even a plan D that you're thinking about. So that way you always land on your feet.
Because, you had a hell of a run. You turned pro in 2001. You didn't do your first show. You actually competed in 2004, the last year that the New York show was called Night of Champions.
2003 was the Night of Champions.
2003?
Yep.
And I was looking at the list, and geez, so many of those guys are gone. You outlasted. 3 of them passed away. National was in that show. Art Atwood, Van Amsterdam, George Farah is long retired. Melvin Anthony, I don't know where Melvin is. And you kept going and going. Won a couple Arnold Classics. Took a very nice second at the Olympia. You won like about 10 shows, 12 shows overall. You had a hell of a run, guy.
Yeah, I had a very blessed. When I turned pro in 2001, and I knew when I was 18 years old I wanted to be a pro bodybuilder. And I thought when I turned pro, I was like, man, if I can win a couple shows, make it to the Olympia, that'll be a decent career. And I had no idea. Winning the Arnold Classic, winning the Olympia, those were definitely were goals of mine. But how many people won the Olympia? 13.
Yeah.
50
since
50 plus years.
Since 1965.
Yeah. So the Arnold Classic is probably at the time was even less than winners in that. They hadn't been around as long. And so I said, if I can win a couple shows, make a little money, and make it to Olympia, it'll be a good career. I had no idea that my career would last 15 years like I turned pro. And you got a giant bug or something flying around.
No, man, that's the people doing my lawn. Hang on, I'm shutting my windows. Sorry about that, man. I never know when they're coming, and they came, it seems like they always come when I'm doing one of these. Anyway, so, you didn't leave on bad terms. A lot of guys actually leave the sport because the placings go down, 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 or they have some horrible injuries creeping up. Obviously, every injury you ever had, you came back strong from. You're like one of the only guys that ever did come back from a full quad tear. You tore both triceps and a bicep, right? Yeah, geez. Who's done all that and still kept doing well in the sport?
I thought when I turned pro, I was 25 years old or whatever. Yeah. I thought, okay, if I make it to my mid-30s, that'll be a super long career. I get 9, 10 years in, right. I'll be done. I got to my mid-30s, and that's when I was just starting to peak and really, really do well. And and then, and I asked some of the older guys, Rich Gaspari, Ronnie, some of these guys, and I said, how do you know when to say when? And they all said the same thing. They said, you'll know when to say when. And I said, all right. So I never intended to compete into my 40s. I did my last show, 2016, the Arnold Classic, right. And I turned 41 a couple of days before the show. And I got 5th place, and which was, the year before I was second to Dexter. And, I'd won it a couple years in a row previous to that. And I always told myself, if the young guys start passing me up and beating me, then you got to know when to say when. Because number one, I want to go out on my terms. I didn't want to be forced out because, we've all seen these pro athletes, these great athletes in the past that they hung around a little too long, and it was like painful watching them. You're thinking, dude, you're one of the best ever, man. Why don't you just bow out gracefully and it'll be cool? And I didn't want to be that guy. And I knew after that show, I went back to the hotel room with my wife and I said, this is it. She goes, you sure? I go, I'm sure.
Wow.
I did everything I wanted to do. I won every show in the world except the Olympia, and I was in a good spot. We didn't have to stress about how we're going to pay the bills and had the other things going on outside of the sport and outside of competing rather. And it was an easy transition for the most part. You never lose that fire inside you. That first year I didn't compete.
Right.
That first Olympia, I was at the expo and Trish wanted to go to the show and I wouldn't go. Because I was like, there's still that fire. No matter how old you get, the desire is still there. It's the problem, but age catches all of us, bro. Yeah. And that last show I did everything the way I always did it. and my body just wouldn't respond. I knew going into it, it is what it is. Everybody gets old,
Yeah.
and for in your early 40s as an athlete, that's old for an athlete.
Right.
There's not everybody can be Dexter. Be 75 and still competing and winning shows. So
I think that messes a lot of people up mentally because they see Dexter and they think Dexter's 48 and he's still, yeah. You know how rare that is for someone's body to still keep responding to all
there's
the
been a
things
couple
it needs
people,
to?
Robbie Robinson, I think, competed for a long time.
Yeah.
Dexter, there's been a couple freaks that have been able to do it. But, for the most part, you look at, Ronnie, Jay, about around 40 years old is when it gets you. So, and I was so healthy, I look at some of the guys that not even pros that were just amateur competing, they kept pushing into the 40s trying to improve and be better and better, and they ended up getting hurt. And I live a pretty active lifestyle. I like to hunt and fish and camp and, do stuff. And, I want to be able to get around. So,
Yeah.
it's
I was just up in Toronto and Ronnie's getting around in a wheelchair, which is, I know he just had surgery a couple months ago, like surgery number 10 or something. It's just, it's rough to see someone who was someone you thought was indestructible, immortal. He had like a mythical status to us. And to see him now, and he's I love the fact that he's still positive. He still always has a smile on his face. He's not bitter. He's not like that. But it's hard to look at him now, knowing what he used to be like, and knowing that he has no regrets that he trained the way he did or anything.
I had dinner with him a couple years ago, and I said, man, you have any regrets? And he looked at me and he said, I don't regret nothing I did. I go, really? He goes, yeah. He goes, I had the time of my life. He goes, being Miss Olympia. He goes, those years. He goes, the training I did. He goes, I loved it. And he said, I wouldn't trade that for anything. He goes, I had it all to do over again. He goes, I'd do it the same way. I said, fair enough. So, and he's the eternal optimist. You talk to him, and like you did, and he's like, man, I'm gonna be all right, and it's gonna be okay, and I'm gonna get better, and it's gonna be good. And fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, he actually does say he has one regret. It's when he squatted 800 pounds. He should have done a couple more reps with it.
Well, the crazy thing is, everybody talks about these videos, but I've been I was in the gym with him since I was a kid, and we all had seen him do more than what you see on these videos.
Wow.
I mean, there was days he was training, he would, we've all seen him lift even more. So,
wow.
What they captured on the video is one thing, but when he said, I wish I could have done more, well, he could do more.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he used to, anybody that can front squat 6 plates like he used to do, that's just crazy. That's just inhuman strength in that head. But enough about Ronnie. Now, you're still training pretty much the way I think you've always trained, right? Have you changed anything up at all?
I don't go as heavy.
Really?
Me and Johnny are still in there banging. We did legs this morning together. Man, we don't go near as heavy. No point in it.
Yeah.
I just for the reason that I think the risk outweighed the benefit for me at this point. I don't have nothing to prove.
Right.
I train now just 'cause I love to train. I still want to stay in some kind of shape. Excuse me, some kind of shape. So those days of squatting heavy and benching heavy and doing all that stuff we did, man. Those are in the past. So now we still train, bring intensity. We still train. You can still train hard and not go heavy.
Yeah.
The intensity, I think, is what determines hard. Intensity combined with weight, and you get, that's really a different level. But to train the way I did all those years, people ask me, how do you stay motivated? And looking back on it, it's for one reason. I wanted to win. I mean, when I knew I was getting ready for the Arnold or the Olympia or whatever show it might have been, I wanted to win. Right. And so that's what drove me to train hard, because I told myself, all right, somebody might be genetically better than me. They might be bigger, whatever. I can't control that. What I can control is my training, my preparation, my diet, my cardio, my posing, all these things that I can control. And I'm going to do everything in my possible to be the best I can be and not let anybody outwork me. I'm not going to let somebody beat me because they outworked me.
Yeah.
And that's why I trained the way I did. Now that I'm not competing, I just don't, man, honestly, to train like that, I mean, I gave it everything I had, man, and those days when I would train, and that takes a lot out of you. Unless you're super, super motivated, it's hard to do that. So now I'm in there training this 'cause I love to do it. We still go to Metroflex. Johnny has his own gym now. We train there couple days during the week, and we train his place a couple of days a week. And we still go to Metroflex and see other guys, and we have more fun. We laugh and cut up more than ever. I mean, I remember many workouts me and him would train, and we would never even speak to each other.
Wow.
We would train, and leave, and it was cool. You know, it wasn't. We weren't there to hang out and, you know, socialize. We were there to get it done.
Right.
So I missed that. It was fun.
So it looks like you're maintaining all your size though. So would you say once you built that size with all those years of mega heavy training, you can maintain it without obviously going as heavy as you used to?
Very true. I learned that. I've learned that over the past 2 years. You don't have to, once you've got that size, as long as you keep training, you don't have to go heavy no more, you know, to maintain it. I think, you know, for me, I had to build it. I never would have had that size I had if I hadn't gone heavy.
Yeah.
You know, I know some people are gifted. They can get the size without going so heavy, but I never would have had what I had if I didn't train heavy. But now to maintain it, I noticed over the past 2 years, you know, I've lost some weight, you know, because I'm not eating 6-7 meals a day like I used to. But, you know, my weight's kind of bottomed out. And, you know, I'm in the 240s. And so I'm down about 15, 20 pounds from what I used to walk around at. And but I feel good. You know, I'm healthy, I'm lean, I can move. And
hey, man, all those years you were like hanging in the 260s.
Yeah.
Was it uncomfortable for you?
Not really.
No.
But, you know, I think I could still move, and I was pretty athletic, you know, even at my heaviest, because I think that's a misconception with bodybuilders. If you were in shape and flexible and agile, you had agility, and you kept doing stuff to maintain that, then you would keep that agility and flexibility and your athleticism as your bodybuilding, no matter how big you got. I've seen guys do it. And I've seen really big guys that were incredibly fast and quick and flexible. I mean, you look at Ronnie Coleman, he could do the splits at 300 pounds, you know? So, you know, I know guys that can, you know, slam dunk basketballs, and they can run, jump. They're quick, you know, they can move, they can fight, you know, all this stuff because they kept training it all through their bodybuilding career. So now if you stop doing that stuff, you bodybuild for 10, 12 years, you're going to lose some of it, you know, because you're just not training for it no more. So I've always been active, done these things. So I could always move and stay pretty.
I think it also needs to be said that your off-season shape was pretty lean. It's the guys who are really, when they talk about how uncomfortable they are in their off-season, you look at them and they look uncomfortable. They're bloated. They're fat. They're carrying way too much fat and water. So yeah, anybody would be.
Yeah, I did that one time. I got into the 270s, and at my height, that's a lot of weight. And I was miserable. And I remember walking up the stairs, sweating, breathing hard. I mean, I was strong as a bull in the gym, but outside of that, dude, it was miserable. But I was young, trying to pack weight on. And, you know, at the time, I wasn't near as big as I ended up being because I was young, you know, so my competition weight is probably in the 230s, you know, high 220s, low 230s. So, you know, I got up into the 270s, so I had a lot of excess, you know, crap on me that, and I thought, man, afterwards I was like, this ain't worth it. You can still grow and make gains without getting fat and miserable. So
I don't think I've ever asked you this. What was your favorite look for you? You know, I think a lot of people say 2009 Olympia, that's Branch's best. What was your favorite look, and what did you weigh at that show where you thought you preferred your look the best?
I think my two favorite looks, I would say the 2011 Arnold.
Okay.
I looked almost identical to 2009 Olympia, but I was a little fuller. You know, at the 2009 Olympia, I was peeled. That was, you know, my best condition ever. The 11 Arnold was probably maybe 0.5% off that, but I was a little bit fuller. What I lost in maybe a little dryness, I had more fullness, and I preferred that look.
Okay.
So.
What was your weight, if you recall roughly?
242.
Okay. So I mean, do you feel that was like where you looked the very best, or the conditioning and the fullness combined?
2009, 2011 were my best 2 years. You know, the 2010 Olympia was, I think I got third that year, you know, behind Jay and Phil, and it was almost identical to 2009.
Okay. So. I just wanted you to see if you want to comment on this. I talked to Ronnie for his MD column not long ago, and I just asked a question. He went on for a good like 10 minutes, which was cool. I didn't have to keep asking more questions, but you know, I was basically asking, what do you think about the guys today versus your time? And don't worry, I'm not going to try to get you to slam the guys today, but he said no one trains hard anymore, no one gets in shape anymore, and no one competes anymore. Because he was thinking back to like the 90s where, everybody trained hard, everybody came in peeled, and they did show after show after show. Well, some of these guys now do compete a lot, actually, but there are some guys who they'll do just 1 or 2 shows a year. Sometimes they'll disappear for like a whole season or two.
I agree 100% with what he said. Nobody trains hard no more. I can't think of anybody that trains heavy and hard. Nobody comes in shape anymore. You look at the Olympia last year.
Yeah.
Look at the top 10. You back this up 15 years ago, 10 years ago, the top 10 had striated glutes.
Yeah.
Everybody was peeled. They were full. They looked good. I mean, if you didn't come in and bring your A game, you ain't making top 10 at Olympia.
Right.
I mean, you look at the same thing at the Arnold Classic. The previous couple of years, you had guys that were in the top 3 that were soft.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at these guys and you're going, man, this guy wouldn't even made the top 10 here at the Arnold, man, if it would have been by the standard that, we competed at in the mid-2000s. It's just that the depth isn't there like it used to be. This whole idea of, I don't know it's just a different mentality than what I came up with. They don't bring the conditioning. They don't train hard, and that shows on stage.
Yeah.
And, competing, there's some guys that compete a lot. Right. I don't say that they all don't compete. There are some guys that compete a lot. But it just depends on I don't get it, man. I think there's 4 guys in the sport, and then there's everybody else. You got Phil in the driver's seat. There's Big Rami. William Bonac has actually impressed me. Every year he has showed tremendous improvement. He arguably could have been second last year at the Olympia.
Yeah.
He got a well-deserved victory at the Arnold this year. Dexter looked great, but William brought it. And then you have Dexter.
Okay.
Dexter's, he's probably has more victories than anybody in the history of the sport.
He does. Actually.
Even at his age, he's still bringing it, man. So, then after that, it falls off. You've got some up-and-comers, that Nathan Dasha, some of these guys that have potential to do really good. But they got to get that conditioning down, man. They got to bring it, and I'm just not seeing it. I mean, you've been in the sport.
I wonder why. I mean, I don't think anyone intentionally comes in out of shape, but we speculate why these guys. Is it because they're so obsessed with being big and full that they see us, if they start to see themselves quote unquote flatten out, they put the brakes on, and they don't get any leaner after that. I mean, I don't know why guys aren't getting in shape.
I don't know. I don't know either. But if I was a competitor, the advice I would give, okay, look at who's winning the Olympia. Look at who won the Arnold. These dudes were ripped and full, ripped and strided and full. Look at Phil. Phil ain't got a ounce of fat on him.
Yeah.
Right. William Bonac at the Arnold was peeled, strided. Okay, that's what it takes to win. Right. So what do I have to do to get in that shape? That's what I would do. Yeah. I did that as a young pro. I looked, you turn pro. Okay, now you're a pro. Now you're at the bottom of the pros. Now what are you going to do to get up to the top? And I looked at these guys. I'm like, I'm never going to be the biggest guy on stage. I'm not going to be a 275-pound Jay or a 300-pound Ronnie. But what can I do? I can come in shredded. I can get harder than everybody else. And that's what they're rewarding.
Right.
That's why I had a good career.
And I don't think you were ever. I'm trying to recall, honestly. Did you ever come in off? I can't recall it once.
Yeah, I came in off at the Olympia one year. I came in, I was holding water, and I was off. And that was the worst place I ever got. But
well, that's right. But that was like 1 out of what, 40 pro shows, 50 pro shows?
So, yeah. But because you're in control of that. I was young. I made a mistake, and you learn. Everybody makes mistakes. There ain't a bodybuilder out there that ain't made a mistake. We've all done it. But you learn from it. You say, all right, I'm never gonna let that happen again. Right. And I didn't.
I mean, you have to try new things in prep and peaking to see if they work. And unfortunately, you roll the dice. Sometimes you don't come up as a great response.
You roll the dice and you hit it. Everybody's like, oh, you're a genius.
Right.
Roll the dice that year and I didn't hit it. I'm like, oh, you're an idiot.
You're an idiot. What were you thinking? So somebody started Threaded MD a couple weeks ago based on, where did you post this, on YouTube or your Instagram, where you were training in the gym and you said, fuck all you Instagram heroes? Where was that posted?
Yeah, that was about a month ago. I think I filmed that. I was training and I was doing a little shoot, and there was a little backstory in there, but we had somebody in there that are insta famous, right? They have no accomplishments. They haven't done anything really.
Right.
I call them the Kim Kardashians of the world. They're famous for being famous.
Exactly.
And I was just irritated, man. I'm just like, more power to it, guys. Some of these guys and girls, they have no accomplishments, no real talent other than they take great pictures.
Right.
But they're making money doing it. So can't knock them, but I'm sorry, it's a difference when you have someone who's accomplished, an athlete, a champion, a world champion, and then you have somebody who just takes great selfies. It's not quite the same.
I'm gonna put this. I'm not gonna put this guy on blast by name, but are you hearing my voice echo?
No.
Okay, good. There's one guy that had a couple million followers, and he looked good. He's not a big kid at all, but he's all tatted up and he's got nice shape and he's got a million pairs of sneakers and whatever. But he did an appearance at my gym a year or two ago, and I could not believe this was the same person. I was like, wow. If he walked through that gym, he would literally be one of the smallest guys at that gym. And this is not Metroflex. This is, there's a lot of big dudes, but these people are so skilled with the pictures and the angles. And this guy was actually known for photoshopping heavily because there was a lot of side-by-side comparisons of what he really looks like with the Photoshop and not the same. I mean, it's so deceitful. It irritates me because it's bad enough that some people are blowing up their muscles with synthol and shit. That's one level of deceit. But then these people are actually photoshopping tiny waists, bigger shoulders, bigger quad sweeps, and passing it off as, this is me. And people are buying into it and following it. Oh, what's happening to my sport branch? Anyway.
It's the famous, baby.
Let's shift gears. I want to talk a little bit about some other stuff that you're involved with. Falcor Defense is a company that, what do? Do they customize firearms?
No, they make firearms, high-end firearms. I guess I know the owners very well. They're personal friends of mine, and I've been doing some stuff for them, representing them. And there's great people. They're based out of Kalispell, Montana. Of course, I love to shoot. Everybody knows I love to shoot and I love to hunt. And so that was a perfect transition. I was on a hunting show for 5 years on the Outdoor Channel, so I kind of had my foot in that arena anyway. And I met a lot of the companies and gone to a lot of the trade shows, and so that was a perfect fit, So I'm by no means
you have a friend, Tony.
I'm by no means a professional shooter by any means, but I do love to shoot and I love to hunt, and so it was kind of a perfect fit.
Is this Tony? How do you say his name?
Tony Sitmanot.
Is he one of the owners of Falcor?
He's with Falcor, yes. He's one of their athletes. He's kind of the face of the company.
Okay.
Tony's he's a Marine, ex-Marine. Yep. He was a police officer down in Florida on a SWAT team. Yep. I think right outside of Miami. And Tony's a badass dude, man.
Yeah, I mean,
cool as shit. So.
A couple of years ago at the Olympia, we had lunch, and he was, a couple of your friends were at the table, and he was one of them. I had no idea who he was. I'm like, is this guy like a strongman competitor? What? He's a big, scary-looking guy. But all he was talking about was guns, guns, guns. So I was trying to figure out who we.
Nah, Tony's the real deal, man. He can shoot. He's super athletic. I don't know if you've seen some of the videos he does. Yeah. His athletic videos. I mean, he's super athletic. He's a great fighter. MMA fighter, and he's a great instructor. And on top of that, he's a really cool guy. So
he's got to be about 6'4", 300 pounds, something like that.
Tony's like, what is he? Maybe 6 foot, like. He told me last time he's coming down here in a couple weeks here. We're doing a thing down here. He's coming to my Houston show, and he's coming down. We're doing a little thing at my farm beforehand. But he told me he was like 250 or something. But
oh wow!
Lying. I said, you weigh way more than I do now, and he's got to be at least 260.
Yeah, I mean, he looked a lot bigger than that to me, but
he does look bigger than that.
No. So. He had me fooled, but yeah, because he's on your Instagram sometimes. He benches like 500 pounds. He's a strong dude.
Strong dude, man. A complete athlete.
I wanted to talk to you about an issue that you might have an opinion on, because gun control. You said you weren't afraid to talk about this. I'm not going to make a political sermon out of this because I don't really have super strong feelings one way or another, honestly. But every week or so there's a shooting somewhere here where some troubled teen or some guy that got fired from the post office or YouTube or something goes on a rampage. And just in Texas was like not even a month ago, right? At a high school there, you had like
we had a church shooting down in outside of, I think, San Antonio, and then we had the school shooting here just recently.
So yeah, I mean, 10 in the school, it was like 10 killed, 10 wounded. So every time it happens, people say we need to get rid of these assault rifles, these large capacity magazines. You know, why does anyone need to have an AK-47 or an AR-15 or whatever the case may be? And I mean, you obviously have a great collection of these yourself. And people would say if you're a hunter, those aren't really hunting weapons, right?
I don't really hunt with those.
Yeah, exactly.
I shoot with them. You know, I love to shoot. There's nothing wrong with shooting. I mean, this is my 2 cents on it.
Yeah.
Number one, something's got to be done. For the life of me, I cannot understand the mental state of someone who walks into a school and starts shooting children.
Right.
As a father, you know, when that Connecticut shooting happened a few years ago,
Yeah.
that really affected me. You know, I don't sit around and watch the news all day or anything, but when that came on, I sat there and it affected me for several days. You know, as a father of a young girl who was almost the same age,
Right.
that really affected me. I was like, man, something's got to be done. So people say, man, get rid of guns.
Right.
There's over 300 million guns in this country.
Yeah.
There's no registration, so nobody knows who has them. There's no way to go and confiscate them, so you ain't never going to get all the guns away. Okay, period. And you might have civil unrest if you try to take them back, because there's going to be a lot of people in a lot of states that they'll fight before they give up their guns.
Right.
That's not even a viable solution.
Right.
Number two, the people doing this are they're mental wackos. They're crazy.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call them, lunatics, whatever you want to call them. They're not sane people.
Right.
Some of these people shouldn't even have had guns anyway. There's the system in place. Like the guy that shot up the church down here in Texas, he wasn't supposed to have a gun. The system failed. He went to prison, I think, in the military for domestic violence. That automatically bars you from ever owning a weapon.
Right.
If they didn't report it to the FBI or whatever, something happened, it didn't get reported like they're supposed to. He went and bought guns and he wasn't supposed to have them.
Yeah.
You know, so number one, you got to enforce the system and make the laws we have work. You know, so that helps prevent people like that from attaining weapons. And then the mental health issue, something you have to address it. You know, I think that shooter in Florida, they called the FBI on this guy. He made a video that he posted.
Right.
I mean, I know the FBI was contacted. They said, hey, I think a month before the shooting, somebody called and said, hey, this guy's he's got guns. He's talking about shooting up the school and killing people. You need to do something.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times were the police called to his place? You know, 20, 30 times, whatever it was.
Yep.
Nobody did nothing. They dropped the ball. You know, so you gotta, when this happens, law enforcement has to do something, you know, to prevent it. If you get tipped off, hey man, this guy's a wacko, then there's got to be some mechanism in place where they can go and prevent this. You know, take the guns away from the dude if you need to. If he's, you know, until he's, you know, gets checked out by a psychologist or whatever. And guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Yeah.
I can take a gun and I can lay it on this table in front of you, and we can sit there and watch it. Now at the end of the time, it ain't going to shoot you, bro. The only way it's going to shoot you is if somebody picks it up and pulls the trigger.
Just to play devil's advocate with that, though, you know, if the only guns that were available for sale were like, you know, single action rifle, hunting rifles, you know, the argument is that nobody could have an assault rifle with 40-round magazines where they could stuff like another 20 of them in their pockets and walk around and shoot up a whole elementary school, going room to room and killing innocent children. So that they say that argument is, why should anybody have access to be able to buy these things at all?
I say I don't think it's that kid in Houston, down in Texas, that just shot up the school.
Yeah.
Have an assault rifle. I think he had a shotgun and a revolver.
Wow. So if you're determined, if you're psychotic and you're
He got a
evil,
6-round revolver and a shotgun. So, and he killed 10 people and wounded another, whatever it was, 10, 15, I forget the exact number, but, you know, almost 30 people he got with just a shotgun and a revolver. So my reply to that, okay, take the assault weapons away. Then they're just going to use other weapons.
else,
You know? So there's no, I mean, pistols, semi-automatic pistols, you know, whether it's a 15-round mag or 10-round mag, they're just going to carry more magazines and reload. So I don't think that's a viable solution. I agree, something has to be done.
Right.
You cannot continue, especially seeing, you know, churches and schools and, you know, businesses being shot up by these maniacs. I mean, something has to be done.
That Las Vegas shooting to me was like the most, I would say the Newtown, Connecticut thing to me, that's the most horrific one I can recall in my lifetime, because it was, I heard about it while I don't know where, I was driving somewhere long distance, and that came on the radio. I started crying because, I have kids. And I was like, oh my God, these poor kids.
I can imagine the parents. I mean, that's my worst nightmare. I drop my daughter off at school every morning. She's in kindergarten, and I say a little prayer.
Right.
And,
it's terrible. You shouldn't have to be afraid like that.
It's a sad state that our country's got to this point to where, we have to have conversations. Okay, do we need to arm teachers at school? Do we need to arm people at church? I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, we've gotten to a point as a society that we even have to have that conversation. Yeah. But we are at that point. So somebody has to come up with a solution that, that works. And I don't know, do you want to take guns away? I mean, as a society, or is everybody willing to give up their rights, to own for self-defense and for a firearm in the name of safety? That's it's very polarized. There's going to be some people that say yes and some people that say, hell no, over my dead body.
Right. Right, for my cold, dead fingers. That was Charlton Heston's line when he was with the NRA. But, last question on this, and then we're done. Why do you think it's America so much? Because I don't think any other country has this level of issues with gun violence the way we do. I don't hear about, Canada having school shootings every couple weeks or churches getting shot up. Why America? I know you're a proud American. I'm a proud American. I love the USA. It's changed a lot from when I was a kid in the 70s for sure, but I still think it's the greatest country in the world. But when I see things like this all the time, I have to wonder why. Why is this happening in the USA so much?
I don't know. It does happen in other countries. There was a kid, I think it was in one of the Nordic countries, Sweden, Finland. Yeah. He shot up, I think he shot 70-something people, with a pistol and put some bombs around town. But these aren't, they don't happen near the rate they happen in the United States. Yeah. I don't know the answer for it. I don't know, because once again, there's guns available in other countries. Not every country is banned guns. Right. So the one common denominator is these people are mentally deranged. They've got some serious mental problems. For life of me, I don't know what possesses somebody to want to go get a weapon and walk in and just start shooting people. Right. Random people. If you got to a fight with somebody, I get it. Okay, he went and shot this guy because they got in a fight or took his girlfriend from him. Okay, it ain't right by any means.
But it makes sense. It's not senseless.
There's his motivation, to walk into these places and just shoot up random people, man. And why it happens so much here, I don't know. Yeah. But hopefully somebody a lot smarter than I can come up with a solution.
Yeah, let's hope so. So shifting gears again, I have to ask, any chance we'll ever see Trish on stage again? Any chance we'll ever see you on stage again?
No, I have no plans to compete again. Trish, she doesn't have anything on the horizon. I don't want to speak for her. She's not hasn't talked about doing anything. Right now her focus is on the family and helping me out with our competitions and promotions and things like that. So she might jump back in there. She's still young enough that she can still go in there and do well. So she's still training. Yeah. And I told her she can't get fat. Breach of contract.
But I mean, she was doing so well in physique, like right away. I was like, wow, she could actually, I don't know how far she would have gone, but pretty far.
Well, that was kind of my doing, I told her, I said, physique is made for you. Yeah. I was like, you'll do really well in it. And I said, because you'll be able to actually train. And she loves to train. She trains Brian trains her at Metroflex. And she loves to train hard. And it was perfect. She loved it. I mean, I think I know I helped her and was more focused and supportive of her, for those shows than I ever had been in the past. Because I'm like, I know how to do this. Right. We can make you awesome. And with figure and fitness, she couldn't be too big, couldn't be too small, it's like this gray area. And she really hadn't trained hard or heavy in years because she couldn't really, didn't want to grow.
I mean, that was one of those cases where she would put on muscle too easily if she tried, and she couldn't train. She had to literally hold back from putting muscle on for years, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's why so she got into this because she's like, oh, this is fun, because working out's fun. So training hard is fun.
Okay. So let's make sure everyone knows, where can they learn more about the Wicked Cuts from the company Warren Select?
Wicked Cuts, we've got seven flavors, 3 beef, 2 turkey, 2 bacon, you go to Wicked Cuts, wickedcutz.co.
Okay.
So Wicked Cuts with a Z.co. And order lots and we'll send it out to you.
Right on. And again, people, if you're a bacon fan, old-fashioned maple, you'll thank me later. This stuff it's like candy. Oh, it's too good to be true. Thanks for the samples, bro. But that's it. I appreciate you taking the time, Branch. I wish you much success with this company. I've tried every flavor. They're all good. I think you're going to do amazing with this company and this product. Yeah, it's original, and it's a great product. So how can it go wrong? You're going to do great.
So I'm excited about it. So I got a lot of work to do, but it's a new challenge, and having great response right now from people. And so we're just going to move forward.
Cool. All right. For the Ronline Report, it's been Ron Harris with Branch Warren. Thanks for watching, everybody.